Cool.
I'm here with my new friend, Jacob Weaver. We met at EXPCon in October, and it was super cool. Like he had a pointed uh way to come about it. He just came up and started talking to me because that's what you do at EXPCon. You
Yeah.
make connections, and if you have that goal and that sight in mind, that vision, that's where you get that traction in your business. So, Jacob, man, thanks for saying hi to me there, and I've enjoyed talking with you since then. And that's great. Do you mind telling me a little bit about your business, what you got going on, where you're at, and kind of what your journey has been to this point?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, it's those kind of events, you never know who you're going to meet, but in general, at EXP, anything, people want to interact and develop relationships. So again, thanks for jumping on the call. It's been great getting to know you a little bit and seeing what you're doing. But I'm in Bellevue. I'm in Bellevue, Washington, which is quite a market. It's seen some crazy growth over the last like 5 to 10 years and continues to be kind of a powerhouse for a lot of the tech money and startups and growth. For companies outside of the standard, uh, San Francisco, Silicon Valley market, we've got like the hub up here in the upper corner. That's economically, it's an interesting place to be over the last couple of years.
And it's a beautiful place. So candidly, I've never been, but I had a buddy that was actually a manager of a minor league baseball team up there. And he
Oh,
was
which
like,
one?
the Bellevue Bells is what it was called.
Oh, yeah.
And he had a super good time up there and just let me know the summers are like the most beautiful place you could ever be.
Honestly, winters aren't bad either. I know it gets a lot of flack, but yeah, obviously summer is incredible. We get like 80-degree weather, mountains, Puget Sound. It's pretty incredible place to be. Yeah,
That
we've
is
been very
incredible.
grateful. We've been very grateful for it.
That's awesome. So what does your real estate journey look like up there in Bellevue?
Yeah, so I got started back in 2012. Actually, this is my second career. Like a lot of people, they kind of fall into real estate in some way or another. But I actually come from engineering, so I've got a degree in electrical engineering, and I worked for the government for a while, and got into the investment side of real estate. So that's where my journey actually kind of started was learning how to put together creative transactions and making deals happen, which it's a skill set that has done very well for us. Learning how to actually communicate and structure a deal in creative ways. That's kind of where I came from on the investment side. And then,
That's awesome.
yeah, over the years, my wife and I, we had done a lot of, fix and flips. We ran that for a long time. Small multifamily investing. I've done a lot of creative financing over the years. Lease options, loan wraps, sub two type deals, or the deals that most agents don't want to touch. That's always been we raise our hands for those, um, which
And that's
naturally.
a lot of them. That's a big buyer pool because I think a lot of people get talked out of deals because they don't fit into a specific box, right? And when you're able to open up that horizon of opportunity, that's where the magic happens, and that's a really cool place to have your business.
Absolutely, and that actually has been the most fun when it comes to building our business, is because we've been able to take a lot of those investment type structures in real estate, and we've translated them into our retail services. So a lot of people just don't know that you can lease option a property or you can sell it with the debt in place, right? It's a very common in the commercial space and in kind of like more sophisticated transactions. But if we can bring that into you know, our normal retail clientele, they have responded really, really well to those conversations. And so
Absolutely.
that's
And
been
what
just
does
a
that
fun.
do? And that brings a ton of referrals, right? Because I talked to four other people, they gave me a hard no, and then I landed up with Jacob, and it's a yes. Like, how did that happen? So of course they're going to send people to you over and over again, right?
Which has been great. Which has been
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. That's
Yeah,
called building a business, which is
it
cool.
is. It is.
So 2012, we're both currently at EXP. So EXP wasn't really huge then. Did you start at EXP? Where like what was your journey to get to where we're at today?
I did not. So we started investing in 2012, got licensed in 2014, and I was at a really small boutique firm. I think there were like 12 or 14 of us in the office, which was a great place to get started because it was very nimble. I had some direct support, which was great, and I was allowed to do a lot of that off market business in those creative transactions, and I didn't have a lot of guide rails, which at the time was great. I did my own investment business over here, and then I sold a couple homes, over on this side and the brokerage side. But as our business progressed and as we started leveling up our price point, we realized, hey, we could bring a lot of these tools into the development world, into luxury real estate, into that retail business that we were just talking about. And so we just needed more tools, more resources, more community, more collaboration, better reach, right? And so in 2019, early 2019, that's when I moved my license over to EXP. And that's been I mean, we're still here. It's been an amazing fit for us. And seeing that growth has been just a really cool thing to be a part of.
That's awesome. That's game changing. And
Yeah.
you saw the vision early, which is super well earlier than me. But that was a bold move because it wasn't quite a thing then. If you're people like me, you'd only been pitched by people wanting to focus on certain aspects of the business instead of like how it can really just multiply your production. And then the culture that's been built there, like what we're experiencing together is fantastic, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. And it was very different. It was different back then. Like the value proposition, completely different conversation when you're talking to agents and to buyers and sellers. So who's EXP? In Washington, there were only 300 agents when I joined in the state of Washington.
Yeah.
Now we've got many thousands, right? And so
Mhm.
the conversation was always about vision and like, hey, this is the direction. We're cutting edge, and that still is the case. But now that so much more infrastructure has been created, and the tools, resources, programs, just the whole dashboard has been growing since 2019 when I came on. Now the conversation is like, no, we have this. We
Mhm.
have this, and we're beating everybody in all of these areas. So the conversation's changed from like vision to now it's like vision plus we already have the best stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, super established, right? And just coming home from that conference we both met at, it's hard to imagine someone that could be as cutting edge as what EXP is providing us. I know when it comes to those box brokerages, there's consolidation happening, right? And that's really setting us apart as, one of the main options, in my opinion, the option for many reasons, because that box idea is seemingly kind of uh, a debt-consuming, dying breed, which is not something that's very public, especially if you're in that space. Like that's not something they really lead with. But if you follow the numbers, it's kind of fun to see that we're working for a very profitable company when most of our competitors are working for companies that can't quite pay the rent, right?
So this actually brings up a really fascinating talking point, and it's one that I have with a lot of people because we compete with other brokerages, right? There are still options and good options. Every brokerage has top producers, right?
Mhm.
So there's
Absolutely.
there's that. It's finding the right spot for you. And to me, we're in real estate, right? Most people, if you ask them, if you were to purchase a piece of property and the property is in a great location, it's got great upside potential, and it cash flows every month, people would say that sounds like a great property. Versus, hey, we have one that's in a mediocre growing area, could go either direction. It's the debt structure doesn't really make sense. You're not going to cash flow on it, and it's kind of a toss up. Like, which property would somebody invest in?
Yeah, the grade A.
Grade A, right? And when you're comparing, our brokerage to some of these other ones, it's like to me that's the conversation. It's like you are in real estate,
Yeah.
like you know what a good investment looks like, or you should if you're in the industry. Like it's the same analogy, right? It's the same analogy. And so to me, that's a big talking point because I think cash flow with correct, debt structure or none, that's a good place to be.
Yeah, and the other good thing is like we own the company, right? So it's an agent-owned company. I think that's a a large misconception being that we share in the revenue.
Right.
So that is a huge deal for scaling, right? So in my current business, like I can't like I was just telling you earlier, the thing that keeps me up at night is scale. Like, man,
Yeah.
where can this go? I used to be so hyper local, which is excellent in my sales business, right? You want to
Yeah.
be the go-to person in your hyper local market. And that's a great thing. But the world is so big, you know? And now with all the tools that anyone can use for free, why limit your reach to that narrow hyperlocal place to where the world can be your playground? So a little bit about where I came from. I was at a boutique brokerage, like 16 agents that was a co-broker in, and leading, a leading team. The team was the powerhouse. The brokerage was it
Yep.
didn't you know what I mean? So very niche. My thought was, this is repeatable. What we are doing here, the way that we're producing, the way that we're coaching and training, the way that we're helping agents succeed, this is repeatable. Why not take this into different markets as a scalability factor? I couldn't do that with my independent brokerage model. I didn't have $1 billion and 100 years to go develop the tech pieces that are already in place from geniuses like Glenn Sanford, right? So I thought, why not leverage that? So we went for it, and it didn't work out with the brokerage that I was at. I had to go out on my own with only just like two agents, and now we've scaled across California, right? And I couldn't have done that. I talked to Keller Williams, I talked to Caldwell, talked to Compass, and just here's easy math, right? One brokerage for the entire world, one brokerage and one cap. And it's the lowest
That's
cap you'll ever find at 16K.
insane.
So to do my business with Keller Williams in the 8 markets that I'm in California right now would cost me an additional 250,000 plus just to
I,
operate. How do you make money if
I,
you're trying to scale?
it's a tough business already, right?
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's a lot of work to run a successful team. Then to scale that team, you're taking on risk all over the place. So like $250,000, that is a substantial chunk. That like, why would you just flush it?
I
There's no
mean,
reason.
that's a pretty good year for most Americans, 250K, right?
Yeah,
And you're
that's
going to
real
charge
money.
that to operate under one brokerage, but oh wait, but you're not one
An
brokerage.
office.
It's yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, franchises.
Well, I want to hear a little bit more. I know the first time we met, you told me a little bit about your numbers and the direction you're going.
Hmm.
Uh, you started with two. You said you left your brokerage with just you and a partner, or you and
I left
somebody
with
on sales team.
myself and two sales agents.
Okay, two sales agents. So what has happened in the last? It's been
Yeah,
like 12 months,
24 months. 20,
24 months.
24 months since I did
Okay,
that. So like last year I was limping along and we scaled up to like I think I had 80 agents at the end of the year. And so we scaled fast. But the scale didn't all happen or equal production, right? So I only closed like 48 million in 2024. That's like where I was limping along, trying to just like do a startup, right?
yeah,
And then this year I scaled back the agent count. I'm now at 55 agents. So really wanted to get more dialed into the people that were showing production.
love that.
And this year we've closed over 140 million year to date. So we've grown over 100 million this year. And what's cool about the way my business works with the lead intake is that our database compounds year after year after year, and now it's compounding in 8 different markets. And that's where I think we'll really see the needle move on production next year and possibly do another 100 million on top of that or more. And we're going to add agents. So that's been the cool snowball of the scaling.
That's that's incredible. That's honestly that's amazing. The fact that you've actually dialed in your systems and dialed in the right people, that's impressive to just sometimes you just gotta, if it's not the right fit, right? You gotta pare down to the people that see the vision, who understand the culture, who are using the tools appropriately, putting in the work. Um, that's amazing to see. Like that's 24 months.
Yeah,
That's not a
yeah,
long
I
time.
went by like that too.
Not a long
But
time.
yeah, a lot of failures, right? And I think that's what, as entrepreneurs like you and I, how many times have you failed? You know what I mean? But it's not truly a failure, it's a learning moment, right?
Yeah,
So
I'm okay
that,
calling it failure. I'm okay.
yeah, man.
Like
Yeah,
if let's call it what it is. Like if you're not swinging the bat and missing every once in a while, then like you're probably not swinging enough.
right.
Honestly,
That's exactly right. And
honestly,
at the end of the day, I think even if you had your best day, you can still say, I'm not where I want to be. And I think that's why the people that are already billionaires continue to work because they're still not where they want to be. How big is the vision? And I feel like our platform gives us the ability to have that mindset every day.
I love that. I also love that your model. We've been in a volatile market this last 12 months, right? It's like
Absolutely.
no matter what you say, like it was a different year than a lot of agents expected it to be,
Hmm.
and for that reason, just what you're building with you're in 8 different markets, that actually diversifies your business in a lot of beautiful ways because our micro markets move at completely different paces, different characteristics. I mean, we see macro trends, right? We can see, hey, housing market in general is doing this or this or stagnant. But to be in 8 separate different markets, you can actually build a much stronger business like that, and it's really cool to watch you do it. Honestly,
Thanks, man. Well, I found a lot of sustainability there. So, like, if one market's down, I'm not leaning into the down, right? I'm able to move across into different spaces and try to find, where the market is hitting. And that's what's so cool about our connection is one thing I try to do with my team is find feeder markets to one another, right? So my main hub was always been the desert as well. I was born and raised, right? The Palm Springs area. And I thought it was so cool because who's my biggest feeder market? Like the Pacific Northwest, right? So that was a really cool connection. That's what really sparked this idea of, hey, let's be referral partners. And that's a wonderful space to be in and a great opportunity. And that conference really set that up for it. But in my own business, before we get into like how our relationship is going to continue to snowball and scale, that's why I chose the markets I'm in. So I went straight to I just happened to move to San Diego, so obviously I wanted to grow here. But then the next one was the Bay Area. That's like the second biggest feeder aside from the Pacific Northwest. And then was the third one, LA. Got LA, and then Orange County, and then that parlayed right into the San Diego, and then we moved to Sacramento because that parlayed into the Bay Area. So all of that is has synergy to where my agents are actually working with one another in a stronger way because they're not competing in their hyperlocal market. They're actually able to refer and work synergistically to grow the markets together.
speaking of you said LA market. Have you got somebody down in Newport Beach?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we just opened up a 4.5 over there.
Fantastic. We got a referral coming your way.
Let's go.
Just like that. That's why we jump on these,
On
right?
the
When
call.
you say
Yeah,
that, it's like, oh yeah,
absolutely.
we actually have
Yeah,
somebody who's trying to buy
top of
down there.
mind. Yeah,
Send them over.
absolutely.
Send them over.
Definitely.
But that brings up a good point because we are, we're in the Pacific Northwest. I primarily focus on luxury new construction and kind of top tier markets in
Mhm.
in the Seattle Bellevue area. With that being said, like second home market, I mean, people love the sunshine, right? They leave for
Yeah.
3 to 6 months a year, or they have a second home they vacation to. We see so much Palm Desert, Palm Springs, San Diego. We see San Francisco. We got a handful of people that just want a place easy stop, right? You go
Yeah.
for a long weekend and just have a nice little getaway down in California. So we see
That's
that
a
all.
it's a massive opportunity. And what I've seen is actually when people come here for our second home, excuse me, they actually are like, I'm in the process of buying my primary at the same time. Like these tech people you're alluding to that are in your area,
Mhm.
money isn't really a problem. So it's time. So when it's time to do real estate, they focus on their transactions all at the same time.
Right.
So their schedule can be set and then they can just go back to focusing on work. I found that a very interesting deal because that the referral network could be super tight in that way because some people might even start working on their second home before their primary, and then it's an easy connection from there.
Yep. And what's cool is like that partnership between the sunny areas and Washington, not only like economically have we got consistent growth and stability, but also a lot of people we're seeing from your markets that are saying, hey, I could spend 55% of my time in Washington and have a tax play as well. And
Absolutely.
so that's one thing. It's like you can have best of both worlds, and depending on how you set it up, we see a lot of our clients having those conversations because if you're in those price points, you're talking about second homes. Like Washington is a great place to not have state income tax.
California is not.
California is not. California is
Yeah.
not. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it honestly it's a nice pairing. It's a nice pairing. It's a
it
couple hour
is.
flight. You get the sunshine, you get the tax benefits, and then we see that a lot. We see that a lot.
Yeah, we see it a ton. So I'm just getting my notes here. I'm not looking at my phone. Well, I am to get the notes. But in closing, so I did want to get hyper focused on EXP a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
So before we talk about the scaling factor, because we've already touched on that, just simple math, right?
Yeah.
How does that work for you now choosing EXP as your brokerage of choice and probably where you'll be for the rest of your career?
Yep.
Like, tell me about the cap, what you've experienced from your past places, and how that's helped you scale your business.
Yeah, good question. So the cap here, it's 80/20 to 16,000. Like that's the baseline, right? And there's a couple of team variations, which we could talk about for a little while if you wanted, but that's the core value proposition, right? If we're just talking fees, structure, 80/20, $16,000 cap. Now in our market, how that plays out for us, we do have competitors like, Sotheby's and Compass and, all
High
the
luxury players. Yeah.
high luxury players. Agency is coming into town, right? And they are on the upper end, right? People are usually paying about 3 times more in their cap with uh, a less desirable split on a cash flow conversation. So we're definitely way below those other brokerages, but we do have some that are like flat fee or transactional, right? So I would say that we sit from a fee perspective, like towards the low end, but not the lowest. But if you look at it from a value perspective, I don't think there's anything that comes close. I think we're orders of magnitude, like dollars spent in cap to value of the company. I think that's orders of magnitude, not just like a 3x benefit dollar to dollar. I honestly feel like we are orders of magnitude.
Absolutely. I think that's a really good way to look at it because that goes beyond just the simple math of this what it's going to save the agent, but where the company is heading and the longevity and what we're scaling as agents within our company and the opportunities that lay there for multiple streams of income. It's that's a big deal. I did a recent analysis because we're working on bringing over a team in Florida.
Uh,
And so the team leader, he's a standalone agent, right? He'd just be bringing
okay.
over 5 people with them. We'd kind of be helping them out on the team side. But we did an analysis, and he's currently at like C21. So he makes, let's just say, 500,000 a year. He's a top producing agent in Florida. I think he's number 9 in the state or something like that. It's just they're a little he churns them out, right? Little low end on the price scale, but he's
Yeah.
a master at closing deals. 500K. We did an audit. And if he can, and he's like on a 94.6, right? He's like,
Okay.
I couldn't get a better deal anywhere.
No, that's
Let's do
crazy.
let's do the math. 94.6, no cap. Um,
No cap.
no cap.
Okay.
94.6, no
Okay.
cap. So this is where the math gets pretty awesome if you're looking at somebody to come join you, right, at EXP. For every 500,000 on that C21 model of 94.6 with no cap, because within what they don't tell you, oh, by the way, you have 94.6, but then there's a franchise fee, and that's 7%, right? So really, we're going down to 88, 89%, which is still, might as well call it a 90/10.
Yeah.
But on that model, per 500,000, that agent would save $70,000 in fees. for the brokerage. Like money in your pocket,
for doing the same work. It's
the
just
same exact work. Nothing changes.
setting up your business in a thoughtful way.
Mhm. In a very thoughtful way.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
thing that I found most encouraging in speaking with him is like, so when you changed brokerages last time, what happened? Well, nothing. It's like you are your brand.
Right.
Who do you want to be powered by, right? And I think that's where I'm just wildly fascinated with the branding of brands like Compass or Sotheby's because they're very expensive to hang at. And really, if you talk to somebody who's in those spaces, the brokerage really doesn't do much for you except for maybe get you a little bit of recognition in your presentation and maybe a unicorn walk-in, right? Maybe once every 10 years you might get a unicorn walk-in if you're still an agent that's
We
full
don't
time.
build our business on unicorn walk-ins.
Oh, how could you? You'd be broke.
We'd
Yeah,
be broke.
so that those are the value props, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to save, not save, well, yeah, save $70,000 a year for doing the same work with really on the other side of it, no scalability,
Right.
because then if you decide to scale, they're going to hit you with more fees. So
Yep.
then it turns into 140 of savings, right? Out of every time you try to scale.
Right.
That's that it's not
And
maybe not life changing, but how much more business could you do if that $70,000 were working for you instead of your brokerage?
I mean, and if you just look at opportunity cost on $70,000, right? To me, if you're in real estate, the whole game is like you generate great active income,
Yep.
stack up your passive and long-term wealth. Like that's the whole point. Like, can you generate chunks to then go reinvest? And $70,000, like you could buy multiple great rental properties per year with that.
Absolutely.
Which if you take that out to a 15, 20-year time horizon over your career, like you're talking about
Hmm.
millions of dollars,
Of
right?
opportunity. Yeah.
Of opportunity
It's a
cost.
it's a gold mine.
Yeah.
It's a gold mine. And then the last thing, just talking about the fee structure is in reality, like you and I are on zero cap, right? Because when you icon,
Yeah.
you get all of your cap back in stock. So, but they want you to go to EXPCon so you can make these great connections too. That's like the only requirement, right?
Not the worst.
Uh, yeah, it's pretty easy going. So I was looking at my so EXP has a program where you get to put 5% of your commission towards stock for a 5% discount. And
Yeah.
my cap this year was actually positive 78,000 year to date
Well
because
done.
of that program, right? And I'm sure people dust that, but we're talking about that 70,000. So I guess I'm really positive like 150K if you really put the math to it, right? From being from
If you
somewhere
are,
else.
I mean, you're making great points. Like if you are a producer who has a vision,
Mhm.
doesn't make sense to be anywhere else.
No, don't waste your time, right?
It just doesn't. And I know that, and that's coming from somebody who has seen this since 2019.
Yeah,
Right? It's not like I just jumped ship. Like, been living it here for years and seeing the trajectory and seeing how many people have benefited from the math that we're talking about.
right.
Right?
And you saw the vision a lot sooner than I did because I did just make the move. And what a difference it can make in a very quick fashion, right?
Right.
And you
24
don't know what
months.
you don't know. You don't know what you until you hear something like this,
Yeah,
you're very complacent with where you're at because change is hard, right?
it is.
Um, but when you know then what you didn't know, you can't get that out of your head. So, and that's what I told my wife after I heard the first time about what EXP offers. I was like, we got to look at this. This can't be true. And then it is. And
And
it's
then it
pretty great.
is. And then
Yeah.
it is. And we've just touched on the basics, right? We just
Yeah,
on the
super low
basics.
level stuff.
Like this is we're just talking like we're scratching surface. I feel like once you start to get into, the revenue share model, how that's changed, the implementation of the co-sponsorship,
Yeah,
the additional two levels that you get compared to some other revenue sharing brokerages.
absolutely.
Like if you're a player and you're thinking long term, like those extra two levels alone,
Hmm.
again, millions of dollars worth of revenue.
Right. But I
And it's
think
just
that's
math. I'm not
what
lying about it.
no.
Like that's just if you're going to build an organization at one if you're choosing a revenue share organization
Yes.
and a company, and you are planning on actually utilizing that feature, why wouldn't you choose the one that has a difference of many millions of dollars in the future?
Absolutely. Yeah, because
You're going to
those
do it.
last two levels pay you the
That's where it
most,
gets
right?
crazy. That's where it
Yeah.
gets really crazy, right?
hmm Yeah, I'm part of the Titan group with Brinkov.
Okay.
And so we just had our first mastermind. That was my call before we jumped on.
Oh, nice.
And so I was in a room with so many like visionary people, right? So let me just layer it back. So many agents get caught in the idea of this brokerage is going to give me $100,000 today if I join them, right? And I'm just like, I'm so sorry, but that's so short-sighted, right? That
Yeah.
for a top producer, that's like 2 months of income, right? Just upfront to be shackled for 4 years. You're going to sacrifice 2 months for a 4-year golden handcuff, right? And the reason I wanted to say that is because the people I was in the room with, I talked to a gal who just started last year, and she is making $250,000 a month
That's
in the revenue share program. A month. Like that's wild.
that's honestly that's the type that's life-changing money for
Yeah.
99% of people, right?
Well, 3 million passive
Yeah.
aside from your production business is huge. That can really move the needle.
Yeah. So
So,
to be shackled for 4 years,
uh-huh.
as somebody who has a vision, as somebody who wants to grow and step into, you know, what they can actually become and be empowered to do, like
Yeah.
4 years is a long time. That's a
Mhm.
long time when you look at some of these people that do come on and within the first 12, 18, 24 months can create a segment of their business that does that. Like that's insane.
Big money.
Yeah.
And that 4 years, if you look at it over 4 years, that's only one extra additional million of GCI essentially per year, right?
Yeah.
Just go out and sell another house. Go to a platform that's going to help you sell more houses.
Yeah.
Find the group because the one thing I will say about EXP, and it's my favorite thing, is people want to do this. Even in your local market, people live in the abundance mindset of, hey, we're all in this together, and now we can truly partner in many, many different ways. Even if you're in the same market, so that co-sponsorship that you talked about, like that is that is game changing compared to like our competitor Real, which is like we're gonna split 50-50 and it gets muddy because I'm doing the work, you're not, bunch leaves to disgruntled people, right? This is actually just a whole different branch where you both see the exact same, essentially, besides one line, you
Yeah.
almost get the exact same benefit. Um, it's just huge, right?
Goes back to that value conversation that to me is like bang for your buck. It's the better version of everything in the market,
Yeah.
right? It's the 2.0 version of everything you see from all the brokerages, like 2.0 version of everything.
Yes, even the luxury platform. We talk about how, or I mentioned that these companies are wildly good at marketing, right? They have everyone fooled that they're the best, and I think they're fooling people. But EXP Luxury, are you employing that in your business?
Oh, I've been employing that for since the day I got started. Actually, quick plug for you. Um, on the 18th of this month, so next week,
Uh-huh.
um, we're launching the new homes division. I don't know if I
Awesome.
talked about this, but
I didn't
I've
know
been
that.
working with them to help launch the new homes division,
Let's
and
go.
it's gonna be awesome. Like
That is
I work
awesome.
primarily in luxury new construction, and
Yeah.
we're bringing some amazing tools, amazing marketing tools, trainings, resources, um, a whole segment of EXP just to help agents understand how to work with developers, how to break into new construction, how to like actually build a pipeline that
Yeah.
goes to the next 12, 18, 24 months. Like that is magic. You can see your cash flow
Yeah.
coming together over the next couple of years. Like it's an amazing niche, and we're excited to launch it. So the 18th at
I'm
10
in.
a.m. Pacific,
I'm
you
in.
get your crew on because
We will.
it's gonna be good.
That's cool. And so just side note, pick any like lane you want to go down in, right? Or have many silos to your business and you can be an expert or you can like you can delegate it.
Yeah,
to somebody else to be the master in your organization and grow it, right? Because everyone's going to glean from that benefit. I don't know of any other brokerage that gives you all of the tools, the training, the coaching, and the constant support to go out and build new lines of business the way that EXP has really launched since like last year. They've been hyper focused on delivering the best coaching and training. Like Brian Ellington, I don't know if you spent any time with him, but the chief learning officer,
yep,
dude, he just wants to empower everyone in every aspect of real estate. And I think it's fantastic.
it's a beautiful
So
thing.
you got the new homes coming out. I got it on my calendar. I'm going.
Appreciate
We've been doing, both of us have been doing EXP luxury. Most of my
it.
team has adopted it also.
Yep.
And that will compete with, if not beat, anybody else's offering because those platforms that we get on, Wall Street Journal, Raw Report, Mansion Global, just to name three of how many, other 16
Oh,
reports that are generated, and your listing is going to be marketed on these spaces for you automatically, and they're going to give you reports on views for your seller.
mhm.
Like, what other platform is giving you those kind of tools on that public level that's not branded centric to your brokerage, right? That's it.
It's like
No, enough said.
enough said, and that's like the one of like 25 things that
Yeah.
you can plug into, right? It's
Mhm.
like that's just one thing that makes the whole program worth it.
Yeah.
It's like we win listings just on that.
Absolutely.
Log
Before you
in,
even
you're like,
go,
hey,
just
what
email
are
it
you
out.
what are you gonna do to market my listing? It's like, well, here's a quick packet. We're gonna get to 84 different countries through all of these platforms. They're like, wow, that's the best I've seen. I'm like, yeah,
Yep,
I know. Let's
it
go.
is.
Sign it up.
And we're the new kids on the block, right? In luxury, really. EXP really started moving the needle over the last 5 years when these other companies been around for 100. And so that's something that I really love.
So,
Um, well, man, like I could talk to you for about EXP and about our
oh
businesses forever,
yeah.
but I want to continue hopping on with you. Like I love your energy, I love your vision, I love your niche because not a lot of people want to tackle the hard things and you make it look easy. So I
Well, I
appreciate you
appreciate
being on
that.
with me, man. Heck yeah,
Yeah,
man,
you
you're
know,
killing it.
thanks for your time. Always, we're gonna do a lot of good business here in 2026. Can feel it.
Let's do it, man. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Well, we'll
All
get
right,
back
cool.
on and we'll give you an update on how many referrals we've been getting each
I
other.
love that. Let's do that.
All right, Jacob. I'll see you, man. Thanks, bro.